So, I find a really interesting question is when teachers, and understandably they come up to us, many of us in this field, and say, so what does close reading look like in kindergarten? It's an interesting question concerning what does it look like when you can't read? Interesting. So I think what we have really come to understand is that close reading at the primary grades is really about close viewing and close listening. And if we teach kids, and it's strategic, it's the same thing. When they view an image, they start to question it. They start to infer from it. When they listen to us read aloud, they're inferring, they're questioning, they're connecting to their own background. So it's exactly what we want. And we I think, strongly believe that we want to see kids looking closely at images, right? Listening closely.
Well, and I think that you can do all of these. You can, as we've said many times, you can do all the strategies with a picture, as you said, or in an interactive read aloud.
Right.
And so kids are inferring from the moment they're born. I've heard you say that many a time. And so I think that to put kids in a straitjacket, that's my biggest concern with, particularly with young kids. I mean, if we're going to have little ones close reading Mrs. Wishy-Washy, we've got, something's gone awry.
That's right.
So I think another concern, and it's that article by Catherine Snow and Catherine O'Connor that talks about text-dependent questions. And I think that's another really important issue because their concern is that if people are simply asking text-dependent questions, and again, your questions have to be within the four corners of the text.
In those types
of questions, it just, it takes away the whole world from reading. I mean, reading is about bringing the world into your experience as a reader. And when you're just limited by, again, the four corners of the text, it becomes, in their view, a very deadening experience. And they're really worried about how motivated are kids going to be to read when they're just slogging through this piece of text as if by osmosis of some sort, they're supposed to just get what's in it by rereading or answering very specific questions about it.
Well, and David Pearson talks about this whole idea of, author-centric and reader-centric, and that what's really happened is all through the literary criticism world up and through the 50s and the 60s, we were highly author-centric. We were only concerned about what the text said. Then we moved into a lot of reader response, thanks to, Louise Rosenblatt, and we moved into a lot of reader response theory, and maybe we got a little bit reader-centric. But now we've gone way the other side again, where the reader doesn't matter. Clearly, what reading is that it occurs in this kind of twilight area where the reader meets the text and together they create meaning. Both matter, the text and the reader. We've moved to a world recently with text-dependent questions, four corners of the page, that the only thing that seems to matter is the text. And that's got to change. We don't.
Yeah, if the reader isn't involved in it, who's going to want to read?